Hey, it's Sam Jeppy, and I'm going to be talking about June 2021, 5 most important shifts in 7 minutes or less. And these are the 5 most important things that I see shifting in June 2021. There are other little things also moving, but these are the most important. Before I get to that, I want you to subscribe to the channel, click the button there to do that, and ring the bell to get notified of new videos and whatnot. Also, like the video if this is something that you would enjoy seeing more of. So let's get right to it. The first thing is we start June 2021 with Saturn retrograde. Now, Saturn is the planet of our long-term commitments, what we're focused on. He's going to be retrograde actually until October. Now, it's not unusual that Saturn is retrograde. He's retrograde almost half the time, but it is significant that cycle is going on. So you may feel like some of your long-term commitments, which could include work, relationships, other things, are feeling a little more hesitant, like you're a little more reflective and less sort of confident. That's okay. It's actually a good time to be studying, to be receiving new information and new input so that you know what to be concentrating on. So we're always half reflecting on what we should be committed to, and then half of the time actually committed to it. So, but that's going to be a big part of June 2021 in general, is this sort of questioning and reflecting on what you're focused on and concentrating on. Now we're going to have a big solar eclipse in Taurus on June 10th. This is a big significant event, perhaps the most prominent because we have the Sun joined Rahu, the North Node, and there's going to be an eclipse again June 10th, and it's in Mrigashira Nakshatra, which is a nakshatra related to the head of the deer. So again, Taurus, this is very much about purifying your relationship to things that you eat, your daily routines, your comfort zone, your values, the people around you, and insisting upon values and consumables and environments where you're both respected and respecting others. Again, Taurus is where the things that we love and that we find beautiful, we want to really, grow and expand. So if there's been a lot of toxic, energy in your daily life, or let's say in your diet or in your relationships or in your home, now's a time where you're really going to want to purify that, and those things are going to be revealed and exposed. As we get closer to the June 10th eclipse, it may get even more demonstrative. Now, the eclipse is in Mrigashira Nakshatra, which is related to the deer. Like I said, this is about a curious, experimental, playful approach to where you can find those things that aren't really working, let's say, in your environment, and you go searching for new things, like, let's say, considering a better diet, maybe cutting down on those couple glasses of wine, or the indulgences, or these people that are kind of disrespecting you, maybe being more curious and playful and, finding another group of people to hang out with. So that's going to be really big June 10th to purify your environment, your friends, your habits, and your values. Then Jupiter is going to turn retrograde on June 21st. Now, any retrograde cycle is about reflecting and going inside and being internal. So Jupiter retrograde beginning on June 21st and lasting until October is about reflecting on our teachings and the things that inspire us and our higher wisdom and our sense of purpose. So again, this is a great time to study for the next 4 months, starting June 21st. Study something that's inspiring, like astrology or some other kind of mystical teaching. You're obviously interested in those things. It's a great time, especially with Saturn also retrograde, like I just said, but to find something that inspires you and listen to the pulse of the universe. And what's it saying to you? Are you really inspired? Do you really understand how things work? Because if not, then it's a great time to go inward and to study. And especially, again, from June 21st until October, it's a great time to set off on a new course of study and something new that inspires you. That's going to be very important. Now, Mercury actually turned retrograde right at the beginning of June, so he's been retrograde all of June, and he begins to move forward again on June 22nd. So June 22nd, Mercury begins to move forward. He's in Taurus, and His forward motion will also signal a return to a kind of normal communication style, normal internal dialogue will return. What we've been experiencing for most of June up until the 22nd is the retrograde Mercury, where we're really reflecting on our interpretations and that voice in our head and how we're communicating to others, how others communicate with us. What does everyone say about you? What do you say about them? How do you interpret the things in your life? That's the most important thing with Mercury. And when he goes retrograde, we reflect on that and say, am I really drawing the right conclusions from everything that's happening? Why do I keep making the same mistakes over and over again? Is it really that I'm just a victim of circumstance and it's because of this thing and that thing? Again, Mercury goes retrograde and we introspect about those things and really question. So that's been happening for all of June. And then on the 22nd, June 22nd, Mercury moves forward and we start to put that newfound reflection into practice. Then the final big shift is Mars is going to be debilitated for pretty much the whole month. He goes into the sign of Cancer on June 2nd. And when Mars is debilitated, we can tend to be sort of like an emotional baby, for lack of a better way to put it. Because, again, the sign of Cancer is where we're quite emotional. Mars is where we kind of want to destroy the things that are making us weak. And just like a baby, when they feel like something is making them weak, they kind of have a tantrum, right? It's your fault, sort of energy. We need to be careful of that. Again, Mars is where we need to be disciplined. We need to be strategic about the things that we destroy. The analogy that I use with Mars is it's where we need to pull out the weeds in order to plant flowers. But if we don't have a lot of discrimination, we might just start pulling out flowers as well because we're just unfocused. So one of the things to really watch in June of 2021 is this debilitated Mars, which is going on the entire time. And you want to be careful not to get into ridiculous battles, embarrassing yourself, making a fool of yourself by fighting battles that aren't worth winning, etc. So being more disciplined is going to be important. Try to rise a little earlier, eat a little less food, be a little more disciplined. So we did it about 7 minutes, the 5 most important shifts for June 2021. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, like this video, and share it with others. And I thank you very much.